Hello, everyone. This is Bill Walsh, and I want to say thank you so much for coming to the Small Business Expo. Obviously, I know you had so many people to meet and incredible amounts of education, lots of great content. But tonight I've got a very, very special gift for everyone that came out, was part of the expo. Maybe you caught me at the keynote or one of the booths that we had or one of the training events that we did. But we've launched an amazing evening for you called our $1 Million Hangout. And I decided to bring out one of my very best friends in the world that really understands how to launch, grow, and build incredible companies by winning what's called the inner game of business. And I've asked him to come on tonight to share with you some great stuff, and at the end give you a very priceless gift, right? The nice part about tonight is that you're going to get access to an amazing, incredible opportunity to spend a couple days with my great friend, and this is a gift, once again, that you don't got to pay for it. You just have to show up and play full out. And if you're very serious about it, then make no mistake about it, this may be one of the most incredible couple days of your life. So, Mr. Adam Markell, are you there with us?
I am, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. You know, and this is, once again, I'm new at these Google Hangouts, and doing this stuff's kind of fresh, but I love the fact that technology brings the world so much closer. And I would ask tonight if you could maybe just take a few minutes and share with everybody a bit of your background, a bit of your story would be awesome.
Terrific, Bill. Thank you so much. So I often tell people that I'm a recovering attorney. I spent 18 years as a lawyer, so I'm still I'm still sort of recovering from that experience. But I've been a serial entrepreneur my whole life. I'm very blessed in many ways to have been in the restaurant business. I've been in the title insurance business. I was, as they say, had an 18-year-long practice in New York City and in New Jersey. Been involved in real estate all my life, as well, all my adult life anyway. And I've been very blessed in business, but mostly I've been blessed in relationships. And I think there's a huge correlation between how you do in business and how you do in your relationships, because they're really very similar. So I am married to my college sweetheart. Actually, this summer, July 29th, we were married 25 years. I think whoever's listening to this, that deserves a round of applause.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Come on. 25 years, and we have 4 amazing, healthy children. So, you know, the truth of the matter is that my life has been very, very good, but I haven't always been happy. And by that I mean I was a workaholic. I used to work 70 to 80 hours a week. I would even sleep in the office occasionally. I was a classic New York City litigator. You know, I had a lot of hair when I started practicing law, and you can see what I look like now. So I wasn't very, very happy. And along the way, I decided that, you know, my life needed some changes. In fact, I had a near-death experience, and it really brought me closer to, you know, looking inside of myself to what it was I wanted for my life and for my family. Made some changes. I discovered something that I had no knowledge of before, and it was through that discovery process that I learned that I actually had some things I wanted to do with my life that were a bit different, also in business, also related to my love of being an entrepreneur, but yet serving in a very different space. So I'm no longer an attorney. I'm still an attorney, I should say, but I don't practice law anymore. I'm now the CEO of a company called Peak Potentials. And our company has been around for more than 20 years. We've trained more than 1.5 million people from 104 countries around the world. Been doing that for a very long time. I've personally trained more than 100,000 people from everywhere, you know, from the U.S. and Canada to Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Taipei, Taiwan, Vietnam, South Africa. I mean, so many different places around the world, all over Europe, and what I've learned is that that we're very much the same. Meaning, the things that are important to me are very much the same things that are important to you and to people all around the globe. We all want to have more love in our lives. We want to have more happiness, of course. We want to have more money. I mean, if I asked everybody listening to this right now, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, how many of you'd like to have 10 times the volume of sales, or 10 times the net revenue, let's call it? Better still, forget the sales part, net revenue next year, 10 times what you've got this year. Everybody would say, yes, of course, I want those things. So it's no different whether I was in Vietnam, or I've been in Chicago, where you live, or in LA or San Diego, where I live. Everybody wants the same thing in life, and what I've discovered is that there are some simple things that are very, very common to people who achieve great success. And I'm not talking about pure personal development stuff. I'm just talking about the things that produce results in the real world. Our company, Peak Potentials, is really known for that, known for street smarts with heart. So meaning you kind of wrap the what's on the inside and how you make changes on the inside that produce great results, real world results on the outside. So my life has come a long way from being a very unhappy lawyer to being a much happier business owner, entrepreneur, and trainer these days. So that's a little bit about myself, and I'm just thrilled to be here. I'm glad you invited me.
Well, please. I mean, I know your schedule is pretty busy, and I know your time is very valuable. And I just want to thank you. And I think a lot of times what people need to learn about is, what were some of the big breakthroughs that really made such a big impact in your life, right? What were those? Because I know anyone that's on this tonight, they're entrepreneurs, they're small business owners. They may have some challenges too. But what would you say is for you has really been? What were some of the big breakthroughs that had happened in your life to be able to see, what the next step looked like?
Yeah, there have been many, but I'll tell you what, I'll stick to one for the moment because it's a great question, Bill, and I appreciate it. There were two books that I read. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is Robert Kiyosaki's book, who's actually somebody I know fairly well these days, and we actually partner with Robert these days at some of our business trainings. But I read his book in the late 90s, and I also read a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind around 2005 when it first came out. And that book is written by T. Harv Eker, who's the founder of our company. And I can tell you that those two books changed my life and created what you called a breakthrough, in that I was classic in the sense of selling my time for money. And I grew up with civil servants as parents, so we didn't have a lot of money. My dad was really didn't think very highly of rich people. He used to say things like, the rich get rich, and the poor get poor. And a lot of things I heard growing up didn't lead me to think or feel that being rich was such a great thing. In fact, if I go back and look at it, it was probably a recipe for my not becoming wealthy, because much of what I associated wealth with was unhappiness or greed or even evil, that sort of thing. When I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it solidified for me something that I had been feeling all along, which was that I was really trading the most important and precious resource I had in the world for something that I needed and wanted, but it didn't mean everything to me. I was trading my hours, my time, and the time I wanted to have with my family, especially our young children. I was trading that for money. When I read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, I learned as well that I was trading my time for money, but that I didn't even value my time properly. And so I learned a few things. I gained some distinctions that created a breakthrough, which enabled me to then become much more willing to play a bigger game. I think in business, and I hope that there's a lot of people that are listening to this right now, watching, that are in business and want to create massive impact in the world through their business. Now, if you're on this call and all you want to do is double your sales next year, well, we can show you how to do that in about 5 minutes, but that's not really what this is about. What turns my crank these days is helping people to create 10x results in their life, and I mean all aspects of their life, exponential growth. And that comes from a shift in your mindset. So just to be clear about this, it's not just what you do, because like it or not, you're going to take yourself with you wherever you go. So you might find the next great strategy, the next great marketing plan, you might find the next great stock, to invest in. But ultimately, what we discover is that if you're not the right person on the inside, you'll sabotage your success in the long run. And that's what happened in my life as well.
And so, Adam, we're losing a little bit of that, but why do you believe that, what makes you that expert, right? Why do people perceive you? How do you earn that right? I always believe that, I always tell people it's 10,000 hours to be great at something, right? What is it that really positions you as that person?
Yeah, for me, I would say I'm an expert in reinvention, but I use the term pivot. So I've got a book coming out next year with Simon & Schuster that's called Pivot. And it's really just how to move your life to a different, position, let's say, and I don't mean just your life, but any area of your business. If you look at Apple, for example, they were 1 month away from insolvency when they asked Steve Jobs to come back and to take over the role of CEO, which most people don't even know what that term ICO means, but it means interim CEO, which just simply meant he was not going to agree to stay on as a CEO if he couldn't see the culture, the internal leadership of the company would buy into the strategy that he had to reinvent and reinvigorate the company through innovation, to get back to being an innovator. And that's what we do at our company. We teach people and we train them how to be innovators, how to iterate something new in your business every 6 months, for example. And that's what I'm an expert in, and how to pivot from one place in your business or in your life that's not necessarily producing the results you want, pivot to simply move to a different vantage point. So in basketball, when you pivot, you gain much greater visibility of the court, which gives you opportunities to either pass the ball or shoot the ball or do something that's offensive. I think most business people today, especially in the United States, not so much in Canada, but in the U.S., have been playing the game of business on defense for the last 6 or 7 years, and they really don't know any other game these days.
And I think a lot of times what happens, they kind of get down that path, right, and they get things started, and then they get stuck, right? So often people get stuck in these places. It's kind of like, how do they break through that, right? And I think that's the big thing, is that, you know, I know that Peak Potentials has helped hundreds of thousands of people worldwide really have major impact and break through some of those big challenges. But I guess, you know, what are a few, I guess one of the big things I always get is that, what are some of the big takeaways, right, that students leave with when they come to, you know, a course or a program or anything that's offered through the Peak Potentials group? And just so you guys know, we have a great gift for you guys, that I'm going to be at this event. We've got something very special for you, but we wanted to really set the tone that if you're serious about 10xing your business, if you're serious about really creating more success, you know, if you're really thinking about some of the big takeaways to, you know, we'll give you the outer game of business, right? But it's also the combination. You got to have the inner game and the outer game. And I thought it'll be quite impressive for us to do a partnership down in South Florida, because this is only available to this group that we put this out there for, that now you'll get a chance to learn what are some of the big takeaways from the Peak Potentials program, and really what are some of the expectations that they can leave with.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. If we have time at the end, let's make sure that question of what defines a 10x thinker. So I'm actually going to ask you to ask me a question, if that's okay. But I want to answer it because you brought it up. So let's save that for the very end. But because there is a huge difference between someone that thinks in a 10x way and somebody who thinks in, you know, a broke way, which to me is like double. Anytime somebody says they want to double their earnings or double the size of their business or whatever it is, you know, I think, well, that's a mindset, and it's really a broke mindset, which I just simply say broke is not reaching your full potential. So let me go back to the question you did ask, which is, you know, what do people take away from our trainings? You know, we've been doing this a long time, and I guess some people, you know, have compared us to Tony Robbins and some, you know, other folks that are in that space, and I don't like to compare. I really think it's well, I don't think it makes sense to compare. I just think there's something that should distinguish everybody's business from everyone else that's in a particular space. And I'd say our business is distinguished by being an experiential training company. What does that mean? It means that we don't just talk about change. We don't, you know, sit down and you know, have people doing writing exercises and listening to lectures and that type of thing, because that's not really how I learned, and it's not how I created change, you know, in my life. What I did was I actually took certain actions. And when you take actions, especially in business, whether it's a new marketing strategy or it's hiring new employees, or it's going out and raising capital, or, you know, taking on a new space, or, you know, any of those things, it brings up fear. And I would say that fear is still the #1 debilitator in sports, in professional sports, in your marital relationships, in family relationships, in business relationships. Everything always comes down to that the people that succeed, like somebody like yourself, Bill, you're always able to overcome fear and be able to take intelligent actions despite the fact that you fear. It's not like removing fear. So one of the huge takeaways that people have trained with us for years say is that they are more able to take action as a result of our trainings, because we have a very unique way of removing, and I want to say removing, we tame the cobra of fear. That meant we don't get rid of it, we don't kill the cobra, we tame the cobra of fear, and the way that we do that is through something we call super learning or experiential learning, where what we're doing actually gets into the cellular structure of your body, so that the things that you typically do habitually, you will stop doing. And the things you're not currently doing because you're afraid, you will begin to do. And that will make the biggest change in your future, like none other.
So I know you hit that home, and I think that's awesome. But I also think it's important that they realize that if you can win the inner game, something steps in called absolute faith. And what I believe is that when you have absolute faith, there's not as much room for fear. I don't think the fear ever goes away, but I do truly believe that those that operate from an absolute faith in the space that they're in, they seem to make it look easy. They sort of own that. They own their domain. They own that realm. A friend of mine did coaching for Mercedes-Benz, and they asked all the salespeople, how did you feel about themselves? And, the one guy said, man, I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. And the other guy said, man, I'm a lion. I own this space. If you walk on this lot and you're qualified, you'll leave with a Mercedes-Benz. And I think so often it's that fear that kills. I think fear turns into self-doubt, and self-doubt for me has been the #1 killer that I found for small business owners, right? And Henry Ford coined this 100 years ago, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Right. And I think it's the same here, right? I mean, I love the fact that everyone on this line tonight, you stopped into the expo, you took the time. I watched 2,000 people sit in line for the Shark Tank to get 2 minutes to talk about their idea. That's the difference between those that are successful and those that are not, is that those that will do the things that the people aren't willing to do, they'll put the time and effort into it. And that's why I want to say, for those that are on the line tonight, thank you so much for taking the time. But more importantly, it's about taking that action and having the steps in place to make it happen. Does that make sense? And the minute you have those and you understand the process, now all of a sudden you start to understand what does it take to become that 10x thinker versus someone that's always struggling. So let's get back to that. What does it look like to really have those 10x results in every area of your life to really give you that greatest outcome to make this next 12 months one of your best 12 months ever? I'll turn that back to you.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Bill. So first of all, I couldn't agree with you more that faith is the key. And it's an interesting thing because if you watch the football games this weekend, I don't know if you saw it. This will be very, very timely. We've had 2 championship football games on Sunday, so I watched the Seattle Seahawks take a victory away in a game that they literally probably should have lost, that many other teams would have in fact lost.
Sure.
Unbelievable game. And when you listen to the interviews at the end of the game of some of the players and some of the guys that had made a huge impact in that game, what they said was that they had never given up faith, right? They had always believed, no matter what, that they would be victorious in that game. So I couldn't agree with you. That faith. So here's the difference between most people, and I'm going to stereotype for just a moment. Most people that we meet, because just like your company, we do, we specialize in the inner game of success. Your company specializes in the outer game. It's a beautiful, front and back of the same coin, which is why it's so wonderful for us to be on this call together. What we find is that most people are not in a position, as you called it, of absolute faith. We use a different terminology, but it's the same principle, which is that you have to have that trained. It has to be something. So most people, they say, if I was born, to the right family, I had the right advantages in life, then I had a better shot. But the truth is not. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with looking at where you are in your life right now, and simply assessing the results. And if the results are what you want, well then beautiful. Keep doing what you're doing and keep growing. That's the recommendation, right? You're doing something right. And if you don't have everything that you truly do want, and I haven't met too many people that do, then the fact is, then you must. It's not that you're wrong. It's not that you're bad. It's not that you have anything that's working against you. There's simply something you don't know. That's all it is. You look at professional athletes like the teams we saw this weekend, and one thing they're constantly training. You know that come Monday, it doesn't matter how hard they played on Sunday, come Monday, that team is back in the gym, they're back on the field, they're back doing all the things that got them to that position to be a winner that day. And I think that's exactly the case with business owners. So you're right. Coming out to the Miami Small Business Expo was a training.
That's right.
Spending time with you was a training. Showing up to be on this hangout at 9 o'clock at night, when you sitting at home with a drink in your hand, or you're watching the boob tube, or whatever it is you could be doing, right? Maybe just even hugging your family, which is a good thing to be doing. But you're on this Hangout. That's a trend that says everything about these folks. And so thank you for bringing that up, Bill, and it's beautiful. So I want to answer now the question you put out there, which is, what's the difference between a 10x thinker and a 2x struggler? All right, and it's simple. It comes down to two questions. So whoever's out there, just go ahead and write down. I know there's hundreds of people right now probably typing in your comments. If you've got a comment, please go ahead and just type that in. If we can answer a question before our time runs out, we will. But these are the two questions. The first one is this: what can I do? Write that question down. What can I do? Now write this question down. Who can help me? What can I do is a question that is typically asked by someone who is a 2x struggler. I don't even say a thinker. Think and Grow Rich, right, is the name of the book. It's all about thinking. It's not, watch TV and grow rich. Napoleon Hill's famous book was not network market and grow rich. Nothing about negative about network marketing or anything. I'm just saying it's think and grow rich. You've got to think a certain way to become wealthy. So someone that thinks, what can I do? Meaning, what can I do to create more marketing dollars or more marketing leads? What can I do to create greater sales? What can I do to grow my brand? All these things are all about how do I double the size of my business. It's a 2x mindset. It's a broke mindset because it's all about you. What can you do? Which is fine. I mean, you've got to show up in a bigger way in your business to be more successful, but that's a broke mindset. Versus the second question, which was, Bill, what's the second question?
The flip side of it, what's that?
Who can help me, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, who can help you? Because what I learned a long time ago, Adam, is if they could have got there by themselves, they'd already be there.
Exactly. So a
10x thinker, you'd be there.
A 10x thinker, as you know, because you teach this, is somebody that invites people to team up with them, to joint venture, to partner. I mean, you're a master at this. You wanna buy a business. When we bought this business, the business that I currently own with my partners, I can tell you right now, we were looking immediately for partners to create not only a bigger, brighter brand. We were looking for partners to literally collateralize the purchase of the business. I mean, you have to find people that have a similar philosophy of life, a philosophy of business, and then partner with them. Invite people to become a part of a team. And when you're a team thinker, when you're the kind of person who can lead other people, then you're in a position to grow yourself and grow your business by 10 times. When you're somebody who can't be bothered leading other people, when you don't want to take on the responsibility of those kind of things, when you see them as headaches, well, what you have is a business that is all about you. And you typically get the kind of results that those thinkers get, which is wondering and worrying how to pay. You make payroll and a number of other things that really isn't a part of business. I mean, I like to say, this is the last thing I'll say on this subject for the moment, is that business is like a car. And most people are looking at and treating their business like it's a Volkswagen. And again, no offense to Volkswagen owners, but when it comes to a business is not intended to be a Volkswagen. A business is intended to be a Ferrari. Ferrari. Because a business is too tough. I mean, if you're in business listening to this now, you know what I'm talking about. It's too tough to be in business. There's too many sleepless nights. There's too many things you've got to do when you don't feel like it, when you're not in the mood, when you're exhausted. You got to do all those things when you own a business. And so the intention for a business is not that you end up with the small little result. The intention is that you have a business that produces wealth, not only for yourself, but for your family and for generations. And the intention is that business will outlive you. That's when you know you're really onto something. It's a whole different mindset. So listen, I can tell you we've got many, many things we could discuss, but the one thing that I'm really wanting to do is offer the people that have graciously showed up this evening a gift. And I tell you what, Bill, would you say a little bit about the gift first? Maybe
you could talk about that gift. That'd be awesome. Share with them a bit of, once again, everybody, this is a gift for you for coming out tonight, for coming to the expo. We're really excited about our partnership with Peak Potentials to give you guys some great, amazing content and things that help you really launch, grow, and build a more successful company. And I know for a fact that if you win the inner game combined with the outer game, the sky's the limit as to what you can produce and what you can create over the next 12 to 24 months. But I think even the next 90 days will be that much more impactful once you understand these processes. And whether or not you enrolled in Rainmaker or some of our business courses doesn't really matter in terms of being able to get this gift tonight. This is a gift that will help you see the inner game winning of success to really expand your outer game as well. So maybe you just talk to them about what is the gift that we have for them tonight, and then we'll get them a link as soon as you start finishing.
Terrific, Bill. So you mentioned Rainmaker, and I got to tell you that the beauty of this too is that Rainmaker is really, and to me, it's a perfect way for people to actually take action to create tremendous new results in their business, right? So when you've got something that's such a great vehicle, an outer world vehicle, the only thing that I look at in a situation like that can make that result even better is when you guarantee that the inner game, that the inner part of it matches the outer, so that you've got all the tools for success, and then you are the person that can not only take those tools and move them to a new level, but that you don't end up sabotaging your success later on. Now, I bring that up because there's a very different way that wealthy and successful entrepreneurs, business owners, and just plain rich people think than, let's say, people who are struggling or not reaching their true potential. And there's literally 17 distinct differences. We call them wealth files. And we've got a program called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. We've been delivering this program for 21 years, literally 21 years all around the world. We just literally opened India in November, Poland, South Africa. We're this year going into Mexico and going into Brazil as well. We're all over the United States and Canada, and we'll be in Miami. We're going to be in Miami January 30th to February 1st. January 30th to February 1st. It's coming up at the DoubleTree. That's near it's the DoubleTree by Hilton, right near the Miami Convention Center, and I'd say the last time we were in Miami was last November, so literally been there only once in the last year. And in this program, we literally teach people on the first day, and not just teach them, but show them through experiential training and process that they're involved in, exactly what their wealth files are set for. So everybody, and that you, me, everybody in this entire world has what we call a financial blueprint. Meaning it's a setting that we have that dictates exactly how we're going to show up and what we're going to do in the area of money. And this is in your business, it's in your personal finance, everything. And we all have a thermostat or a blueprint setting. So for example, Donald Trump, here's a guy that is a billionaire and was worth billions of dollars in the late 80s and literally went broke. He was bankrupt, as many, many people remember. And obviously today, Donald Trump is not bankrupt. In fact, he's the opposite. He's very, very wealthy. And he's very much like a lot of other successful entrepreneurs that have at some point in time struggled, maybe even gone bankrupt. And what we found is there's a phenomenon that when a very successful entrepreneur has a financial challenge, usually a year, 2, 3 years later, they've got all their money back and even more. And that's because their financial blueprint is set for millions. And in the Donald's case, his financial blueprint is set for billions. Whereas most people, their financial thermostat, I'm just making a T here, Bill, that stands for thousands. Most people, they have a financial blueprint set for thousands, even maybe hundreds of thousands, but that's their blueprint. And it's not set for millions, it's not set for billions, and they get exactly what that setting is. In fact, what we found is that most people, 83% of the people that have been through our trainings have earned within 10%. Within 10% of the same amount of money for the last 20 years that they've been either in business or an employee or what have you. So it's a blueprint setting. So the first day we literally have every single person know exactly what their setting is, where the setting comes from, so meaning what's been the programming that they received, usually when they were a child, that's led them to get the financial results that they've gotten in their adult life. The second day, day 2, is a day for reprogramming and for opportunities. So literally on day 2, which is the day, by the way, Bill, that you'll be speaking, we have our students go through a process that literally reprograms them on the spot using techniques that have been proven for 40 years, neuro-linguistic programming techniques, techniques that work with the dendrites of your brain to reprogram how you think and look at money and situations in business, opportunities in business, and then literally introduce them to those opportunities and ways for them to change their business and grow their business 10 times on day 2. The third day is the day that most people speak about for the rest of their life, because this is the experiential piece where we literally help people to break through fear once and for all. And again, I don't mean that fear will never come up again. I mean that when you graduate from this program, you will never ever look at any situation that creates fear in the same way. Not only won't you look at it the same way, but you'll have a strategy that we teach you that will forever allow you to break through that fear. And I got to tell you, if there's anything in the world that I would want to give as a gift to the world, it would be that. Because I personally believe that there's just 2 states of being anyway. I'll get a little woo-woo for just a second here, but
that's all right.
There's just the state of love and a state of fear. And
right.
I believe that when we're most successful in our personal lives, we're most successful in our business lives, it's when we're motivated by love, when we come from that heart space and that heart place, and in doing so, we show up in a way that allows us access to universal intelligence and wisdom and things that are well beyond ourselves even, to create those results that just are mind-boggling. I mean, look at those players last night in the football field. What did they do when they were done? They got down on their knees and they gave thanks, and they realized that something sort of miraculous happened for them out there, but they were prepared for that miracle. They were anticipating it, and they didn't let any kind of fear stop them. Even the fear of being embarrassed, in front of a couple of million people on national TV. So it's truly spectacular. It's called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. I know that you've been into the program, and as I say, more than 1.5 million people have graduated it. And I want it to be a gift for all of the people that showed up at the Miami Small Business Expo, the folks that have been, that showed tenacity tonight to be on the to be on this hangout at past 9 o'clock in the evening, and the folks that are going to be with you for your Rainmaker program. I think these folks deserve this gift, and not only do I want them to come, Bill, but I want them to all come and be our guests, to sit in a premium seat and get some beautiful gifts and to be able to meet you and see you on Saturday. So just once again giving you the dates, January 30th to February 1st. It's the DoubleTree by Hilton. It's right down by the Miami Convention Center. And I think we've got a link to help them to register. Bill, do you have that link handy?
I do actually. There's one challenge. You may want to go to the site, Adam, yourself, and you'll see that for some reason Tampa's listed twice, but there's not a Miami link on the drop-down. So we may want to just have them call the toll-free number. But if you go to the link, that just to double-check the link, or if they register for Tampa, can we switch them? Just double-check real quick the link that I've got. I just want to maybe we'll give a second option. I mean, guys, we'll get everybody accommodated. Don't worry about that. But I know that I was just on the site myself, and I just was checking a few things to see if we can get that. But either way, we're going to get you guys set up so you'll all get tickets for the Miami.
I'm going to give it a
shot. If you just check that page out real quick, that will give out a phone number.
Bill, do you want to?
Might have to mute that screen, but go down to the bottom to the drop down. Everybody that's on, thanks so much for coming on. I hope this has been helpful for you. We're going to get you either a phone number you can call, or we'll get you a different website. But I know that the site it's a fabulous looking site, but there's a drop down where literally it's double. We've got a double bonus for Tampa, but the Miami one is not on the site live yet. We've been working to get this live for you guys because it's a very special gift just for this group. So Adam, maybe you've got a second idea for that.
Yeah, I do. Let's do this. Why don't we? So you can go to the MillionaireMindIntensive.com site. So MillionaireMindIntensive.com. All right, and it'll be simple for them to go ahead and do that. And what we'll do is this. We'll get every single person. We're going to get a list of all the people that were on the Hangout tonight, because that'll be easy enough for us. We'll go ahead and cross-reference it with the list of people that have registered from the MillionaireMindIntensive.com site. We'll upgrade them to VIP. And so if you're on the site right now,
you can actually, why don't you give me that website again? Because if not, I'll just have them email team to help them with that stuff right away.
Could do that. Yeah. Just make sure that they get registered, get into a premium seat. I want to make sure they get the upgrade as well, Bill. So it's MillionaireMindIntensive.com. The name of the event is Millionaire Mind Intensive, and MillionaireMindIntensive.com is the.
Yeah, I just gave him the sticky right there, so you can probably see that there.
You know what? I'm not seeing it. That's the
Can
problem.
you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I just posted a sticky that it got there. Or they can maybe give the information for the location, everything one more time.
Sure. Let me do that. So it's January 30th to February 1st, and so it's literally coming up. What's today? Today's the 19th. So, oh my goodness, you're very close at this point. 11 days away. January 30th to February 1st. DoubleTree. That's the DoubleTree by Hilton at the Miami Convention Center. DoubleTree. So, Miami Convention Center.
Yeah, so if everyone looks, you'll see I just put a sticky out there for everyone. So you can either go to the website or you can just email Jen, our staff. We'll get everything organized for you as well. Either one is fine. These tickets are complimentary. This, without a doubt, will be 3 days that will, without a doubt, be the best 3 days if you've ever spent in your life. If you're really thinking about having some big breakthroughs from the inside to win big time on the outside, I know that hundreds of thousands of individuals have gone through these courses worldwide and have gotten some of the most amazing results ever. And I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be there myself. I'm going to be attending the course as well. So it's awesome to be a part of it. So, you'll get a chance to come hang out. And I'll actually do a bonus session, a little special session with you guys Saturday afternoon. But make no mistake about it that this, for many people, will be 2 or 3 days of the best days of your life if you'll just come there and play full out. You're going to get a chance to get so many incredible gifts, and the fact that you all get to go VIP, people pay a lot of money for these VIP tickets, and that's really a gift for being part of the Power Team Network and really coming to the Small Business Expo. It's a special gift for the people on this webinar tonight. And I want to also thank my son Austin Walsh for putting this stuff together, because he's obviously more the technology behind this. This is the first time I've ever done a Google Hangout or webinar jams hangout, so it's pretty awesome, and I'm very excited about it. But I can tell you for a fact that Adam and Peak Potentials do a phenomenal job at delivering. And Adam, I want to say thanks for making this possible. And of course, I know there's a lot of people online tonight. Thanks for plugging in. You're going to see all those gifts on there. Either go to that website and enroll, and we'll make sure you get upgraded to VIP, or you can enroll and then email Jen. I put the email on there for you, and she'll make sure that you get upgraded right away. Or you can just email her that you'd like to come, and then we'll get you another special link sent out to you tomorrow, and you'll be able to go through that special link just for this group and be able to get those VIP upgrades. So it's pretty awesome. Anything else you want to add, Adam?
No, I'm just want to check the link that you had provided just to see whether mine is coming up differently. But in any event, let's do this. I don't know that we've got time for a question. Bill, did you have one more thing that you wanted to mention?
The main thing is that you've got to be there, right? You've got to make the time to be there. You've got to set the time aside. What time does everything start on that first day, so they got the full schedule?
Yeah, terrific. So the event goes from 9 a.m. on day one, which is Friday. And here's the thing, too, Bill. In a minute, I'll just say this: there's a lot of people that have been to the event who the first time that they were going to go didn't show up. Literally, I've had people that. Well, hold on a second.
You got your video going over there. So I see a couple questions coming up, guys. Everyone, just so you know, even if you register on the other page, we're going to upgrade you to VIP for free. So don't worry about it. You don't got to pay for the VIP. We're going to upgrade you as part of the Expo team and part of the Power Team group for coming. And most of when you come to this 3-day training, so much of it's about winning the inner game and being a part of the Millionaire Mind Intensive and really understanding how to take what you've learned and put it into every area of your life.
Yeah. Here's the biggie, Bill. You're gonna need to take that Friday off. And I've had so many people that literally have shown up and said, hey, you know what, I was registered for this event 3 years ago. Like I said, we've done this for 21 years, so just a few times for a few people, okay? And I've had countless people show up and say, I registered for this event 3 years ago, and I couldn't take off, or I wouldn't take off from my job or my business, or, they always have some excuse why they couldn't be there on Friday. And then 3 years later, they were not doing, their life really wasn't going where they wanted it to be, or their business wasn't succeeding at the level they wanted it to succeed at. And they finally decided they kind of, banging their head up against the wall enough times, they just got off, took off, did whatever they had to do to be there on a Friday. And I realize and I honor you for, you know, all the commitments in your life. And, you know, this event is 11 days away. And I'm going to suggest to you that you, no matter what you have to do to give yourself the gift of this gift, that you show the universe by your actions that you are prepared to receive many more things in your life than you currently have. You're being given a VIP gift, and Bill, I got to tell you, that's you know, that's something that's very special. We charge $1,300 for those VIP tickets that you just gave to your amazing group, and it's not.
And they love it.
It's not the money. It's the fact that when the universe is kind of giving you something, I've become very attuned to that. When I'm receiving a gift these days, I accept it fully. And I look at it and I say, well, there's something I'm supposed to learn. So what I can say, the last thing I'll say is this. We look forward to having you all there. We love coming to Miami. It's one of our favorite places, and we're here once this entire year, and you're about to have that experience starting on January 30th. So, Bill, I'm looking forward to seeing you there as well.
Thanks, brother. I also gave him the link that everyone that's online, you can also come back tomorrow. I gave you the link. I'm sure the Miami event, well, there's a special link just for this group for this, so it should be updated by sometime tomorrow. But if not, any one of those 3 ways will get you registered. We'll make sure you get upgraded to VIP. And I want to say, Adam, thanks so much for the amazing gift. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time tonight. We'll make a webinar replay available as well. You can give out to some of your really close, amazing personal friends, because this really is a great gift. And we're only going to, the Peaks team will only be in Miami once this year. You do not want to miss this opportunity. And I want to say thanks to all of our amazing customers worldwide. You know, if you got the opportunity to plug into this and you're coming in from somewhere outside the world, outside the Florida region, I want to say thank you so much. And once again, thanks for being a part of our first $1 Million Hangout. I love you guys. I'll see you in Florida. Have an awesome night. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks. Thanks, Austin.